summer jobs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, it is, yep. It is 8:30. Welcome to Land Use and Planning. Standing Committee is Tuesday, May 26th. We'll start off by reviewing both the April 27th and May 4th minutes. Specifically, by the time we had our May 4th meeting, we did not have our minutes yet for April 27th.
Yeah, I, move to approve April 27th and May 4th minutes as written.
Second that.
My only edit would be removing the directives as we
Oh.
have been. Just because they got a little funny and there was, names in there that didn't exist.
No, but I thought that was fun.
Yeah, let's keep it.
That, I don't know.
All right.
They got it handled, though.
I
Yeah.
know, I was like, wow, I got that. Cool.
Title 8, Chapter 8, Use of City-Owned Land Amendments. So that is ordinance 960, which I think we have a finalized version in the packet.
Yeah.
Any additional notes? The only thing I want to note on this is I removed the insurance piece it's loading. But the insurance piece at the end that says if someone is unable to get insurance by two providers for the event, then they
Right.
shouldn't have to, just took that out.
Okay.
So if you can't get insurance, that means we probably don't want you doing it.
There's a reason.
So, that's really the only one thing I wanted to note. Otherwise, everything was as discussed. So, we were gonna have Jody and Patty review that and see, like, is there a reason that you think that we should leave this? And ended up let's just take it out. If we feel there's a reason, we can add that at another time.
So that 888B2, you were just gonna get rid of it altogether?
8,
Or
Hold on.
is that
Page 32.
sorry, I'm on 26.
8.8.8, and then B2 was if the applicant is indigent, but
Hold on one second, just scrolling down.
In the application is.
No, it'd be B3, which is not in there.
Oh,
Because it was removed.
I was like, oh, okay.
oh, mine,
It does still say the indigent person, but it's not.
Yeah, it does have that, but it just says if you can't get insurance and two providers say that you can't have insurance. We still left the I was really trying hard not to use that word today.
so I still have my concern that just because somebody is indigent does not mean that the city does not have an exposure and a liability.
End of the day, we also have insurance on these types of events, and it can be something that is at the staff's discretion. They have the ability to deny any application. If they feel that they are at risk or liability for some other reason, then they have the ability to say no.
So then can we modify that to, because I'm looking at the copy of the packet and I don't see the 3 that you're talking about.
We don't have
Because it's gone.
So somewhere, okay, so somewhere in that 2,
If the
it needs to say, must provide proof that city insurance is adequate, because otherwise the answer is no.
Okay.
Well, wouldn't that be?
Staff members can provide or just determine if, that's what we'll put. We'll have an amendment, give me a second, we have it. We'll have,
This is enough for action tonight anyway, so.
Well, wouldn't it be on the city's part to determine?
yeah, and that's what I'm gonna put on
So then it
there.
would say, yeah, if staff is not able to determine that that it's covered, then the answer is no.
Yeah, let me just write it out.
If staff can confirm city coverage is adequate.
City staff.
Or if activity has been confirmed to be not covered by the,
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, there are things like they say, we won't cover blowy houses. I mean, the insurance policy has weird things in it like that from year to year.
City staff can confirm city insurance is adequate.
Hold on one second. I have it, it's in my brain, I just have to write it down.
Well, I was writing it down too, so I knew.
Yeah, that's my patient.
But yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah, just make sure, like I said, that indigent has zero correlation to city exposure and risk, so.
But to me, that follows under
Okay.
denying any application if it's unsafe.
Mhm.
Well, but
Yeah.
or normally they would have insurance, so.
City staff may deny application if it is determined that city insurance is not adequate.
Say that again? Sounded pretty-
City staff may deny application if it is determined that city insurance is not adequate.
Yeah.
I would say will rather than may.
Ooh, okay, so city staff can,
I try to
Can.
get away from subjective decisions for staff,
will deny, okay.
if it's not adequate.
If it's not adequate.
But does that mean every time an indigent person has an application, they have to comb through the insurance documents and determine?
No, because we put it on staff, but it means I'm indigent, I wanna
Well, that's
have
what I mean.
hatchet throwing, and we say, nope, that's not covered by the city, so therefore we.
I think it would just be a phone call by the city to the insurance, like, hey,
Yeah.
is this covered?
So it's not.
Or I think at a certain level.
It's up to you as the mayor to determine if that's a person.
Well, I think the
butt.
point is that it's staff's, that staff does it.
And I think on a whole, we don't get a lot of applications that have this.
I was waiting for the indigent.
I wasn't gonna do it. I can't do it. I've
Exactly.
tried
And
so
I'm-
hard.
Exactly.
Certain words just won't process, cannot compute. But I think that is, again, we don't get a lot of these, and the ones that we do are, again, more leaning to the example of a 5-year-old's birthday party, which should very well be.
But they couldn't have a bouncy house.
Right.
No bounty.
Yeah, but they can absolutely have cupcakes, like, that's the scenario.
Gluten-free.
Gluten-free, can't, oh my
No,
God,
you-
allergens, no allergens, can't have it, sorry,
You
get out of
addressed-
here.
You addressed the only concern that I had that would make me pull out the veto stamp.
Cool. We're happy, we're all happy. Sure. Yay. Thank you, team. We'll get there. Review proposal for trail on donated land, Parks Board feedback. Do we have Parks Board feedback? Do we have a letter from them?
We had their letter of support in.
Is it in here?
Is it in the document?
Was that in this one or last packet?
I thought it
Oh,
was-
that might be why I haven't seen it.
It was
And
in the last.
then, Jeremy, I'll look to you to summarize the changes from, or comments from the last one on the donation agreement on page 1.
Oh, so essentially the conversation of the trail amenities and the signage, just leaving that a little bit more nondescript.
Right,
Yep.
correct, yep. Sorry.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Is that what the one that we just got this morning?
Yeah, we had talked about, there's some very specific, signage requirements in the streets and and I think Adams North, if you're gonna specify streets, I feel like that Adams North.
And I think we
should be
just
specified.
said don't specify
Just don't
locations,
specify.
just that there will be signage.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
that's the quick.
Well,
version of
that's
that.
5 of the 6 people on council we've heard from now.
Out of curiosity on this donation, agreement, I'm assuming Parks Board reviewed that as well? The actual agreement, the written documentation?
I don't know that they did.
Okay.
It was, and then stated.
They're looking at it
the timeframe-
conceptually.
Because of the time frame put together, so there's the land use and the layout stuff that I anticipate will go back to Parks. Or,
Okay.
you know, here's what we're doing, so I think they'll be coordinated with Parks. This was more the administration side.
Right, yeah, I was just wondering if they had an opportunity to review it, that's all. No big
We've got 2 weeks before we're taking action, so we could certainly give it to them.
I mean, I'm not all that stressed about it. I think that, end of the day, this is more of an administrative piece. I just want to make sure that there's no red flags in there for them, and it's not an end-all, be-all. More so if staff has read through this and feels confident, that's more what I feel better about.
Created it.
Then I'm good.
I did have one comment from the Wrightses on the encroachment agreement.
Okay?
I don't know if you remember that one.
Oh, yeah.
To just, so basically, they can be here today, so if we could
Yeah.
move that to next
Yes,
discussion.
yep.
So that,
No, they have reached out, and
great.
I had mentioned that to them as well, that is no problem.
perfect.
In terms of the encroachment agreement, was that in last week's packet?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you. I am still catching up.
And I mentioned it last meeting, I'll mention it here too, is while the 2 action items are in the vicinity of each other, there is 0 correlation between them.
Correct.
Mhm.
Yep.
So that fence line line in the previous one that's separate from this.
Then the
Yeah, the
trail.
separate thing.
Yeah, that won't
Yeah, it's
factor
not
into
affect-
the accepting. 100% of what we're talking about is the O'Neill property
Right.
and accepting it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. Fabulous. So we had, moving on, I guess, unless there's any other feedback, any questions, thoughts, concerns. Okay. Reviewing feedback from the planners and the process for designating, changing use of city-owned land. I'm gonna go down to this. If I can find it again.
You know, for the email where he confirmed the date and time he was gonna be able to make it, that worked for everybody?
That was not what I was looking for, but that's also helpful.
Was there feedback? I don't know.
I think he actually did provide a little bit of feedback. God, I'm trying to find that.
My recollection is he provided the whole process, and then you guys were gonna provide feedback to him.
Yes, that's,
But
In
but
this packet.
Did we get
it
that?
is not in this packet,
Oh,
and
okay.
I think I failed to send it to you guys, because
Okay,
I
'cause
was
I'm like,
on a plane. And I could have swore that it had been sent to everybody. So I will, put this, I'll send it to you guys both right now.
Sweet.
Even did a resolution for adoption, which I'm not quite ready for.
oh, he was,
Yeah, he was on it. Sorry, bear with me while I try and find this damn
by
attachment.
14/26 is when he sent the.
Yep, I'm in that. It's just a thread of 100
Yeah.
emails
And
to
then
dig
the
through.
513 is the, yeah, okay.
I just, yeah, not a fan of. Forward. Sorry, guys, that's on me.
no worries, you were on a plane.
It was on a plane. It was a nice plane. Okay. Okay, so I just sent that to you guys. There's two different documents. Red Lodge use of city-owned land, WWC draft, as well as Red Lodge project application draft. So, let's see, I'm gonna start, I'm gonna pull up.
How long are those? Do you want?
One is
copies
10
of both,
pages.
or-
Yeah, that'd be great. Do you have it pulled up?
Yeah, I can pull up the,
Yep, one is 10 pages, and then the other is 4. So on a whole, pretty well narrowed down.
Yeah, he went through.
And just kind of going through it, there's a policy, review procedures, and application framework. Document is intended for discussion, staff refinement, and legal review. So there's a document overview that's kind of our bullets that we sent to him. So purpose and intent, applicability, project classifications, pre-application process, letter of intent, application requirements, completeness review, review criteria, interdepartmental and advisory review. I love that that's included. Public engagement and hearings. Love that that's included. Staff reports and recommendations, agreements. So it's thorough.
Mhm. Appendix A, Appendix B.
My battery. The one thing I find interesting, and I'm not sure if that's by design, there is, okay, I think that's where they're supposed to fill in the blanks. There's like these little boxes under type A.
Type A, B, and C all have them. I was like, is this?
Yeah.
Are we?
These projects are generally, or maybe it's supposed to be examples? Typical characteristics and examples. Okay, so I think that would be for us to determine.
Otherwise I was like,
Projects such as.
Yeah, projects such as, and then again, those general characteristics of like,
okay.
kind of stuff that we talked about. So for a minor, it would be, something non-permanent, something that would be located in the park, something that's completely paid for by the applicant, like those types of pieces. Zero maintenance or improvement over years, no management plan necessary, no financials. Like, those would be the things that would fit in the characteristics.
I do like, I mean, I kind of jumped ahead to that second document, the application.
Mm-hmm.
How it, you know, standard information, project information, and then like classification. Is it a minor? Is it a standard improvement? Is it major?
Yep, love that.
And that is a city staff and the city staff determines classifications.
There's more coming, I'm just getting my steps in.
Thank you.
Oh, perfect.
Still working on it.
Cool. Sweet.
Oh. It prints with the,
Oh, interesting. Cool. I love that I was less work that we have to do.
I was
here,
like,
so-
oh,
Yeah, I was noticing, and I think it's just his font. So I think he uses an Apple.
I don't know.
That's probably why Dave can read it, but.
There you go.
Do you have an Apple?
Oh,
Like your little tablet? No. Okay. Good.
I'm
Good.
not a huge
no, nope.
Um,
Spent all the money for it and don't use it.
yeah, so
Oh, my goodness.
we'll look at this. All right, so
Yeah, that's great.
I love this definition. I think he did really good on this. One thing I also like about this and having him do this versus us is it matches a lot of our growth policy, master plans,
Yeah.
very similar
Consistent.
formatting, so there's that consistency across the board.
Mhm.
Cool, so examples of minors, bench donations, small landscaping projects,
Art displays.
love art displays,
No.
volunteer cleanup or beautification projects, small community gardens, cool. Standard improvement partnership projects, permanent or semi-permanent improvements, moderate site disturbance, increased use of traffic, or increased use or traffic, sorry, potential maintenance obligations, potential need for permits or inspections, requires coordination among multiple departments, so trail improvements, playground additions, permanent public art, small buildings or structures, recreation amenities, and then legacy projects. These involve substantial or permanent changes to city property, infrastructure expansion, significant public impacts or long-term maintenance obligations, major change in land use or intensity, large-scale permanent construction, significant traffic or operational impacts, long-term maintenance obligations, utility infrastructure expansion, exclusive or restricted use of public land, potential zoning or ordinance amendments, that's awesome, multi-year agreements or leases.
Yeah.
So large recreational facilities, event venues, significant park redevelopment, long-term operational partnerships, projects requiring leases or major capital investments.
I would see this and it's like, I'm like, it's amazing how he's able to
Yeah.
streamline it, and I'm just like, wow. I was like, he made it look way too easy after we.
Yeah, no, I'm a little embarrassed.
I know, I was like, wow, okay.
all that pre-work you did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
A lot of homework. It just needed formatting, which takes time, and that's what we just don't have.
Do you think it would be useful to go through these and pull out a couple examples of, infrastructure and projects that already exist? So,
Yeah.
for example, type C, pool.
Yep.
go
All right.
there.
Mhm.
Type B would be like.
Trail system.
Um,
trail
Pump park.
system, the pump park, the
right.
hockey shed, the observatory, stuff like that.
Yep.
And then, just pull
And
out
then,
stuff, like, if we had to do it completely again,
This
would
could
it fall
be-
into each?
Yeah, and I think that'd actually be really helpful for
Traffic
just
circle.
when people are applying, they have an example to lean to.
Right.
So versus like
Oh,
coming up with something in their mind, it's something like, this happened.
yeah, just to have a,
Yeah.
yeah.
The one thing I would
Precedent-free.
say in terms of examples under type C is the major capital investments. I want to put that in a different line item or a different bullet than projects requiring leases, just because I think that,
Do you want its own bullet for that?
yeah, I feel like both are not, they're mutually exclusive, so,
Major required leases,
yeah.
major capital or project required leases.
And then I think the other would be,
Are you saying that leases could be something that would be in a different
I think that,
type as well, or?
yeah, I think that projects requiring leases don't necessarily also mean or capital investment. I think they're two very different things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
put a new bullet point for that.
Yeah, just a new bullet point for that. because again, I can think of a lot of things that require leases, but not necessarily a lot of major capital investment. Cool. And then going into the pre-application process, applicants proposing standard improvement or major legacy projects shall participate in a pre-application meeting with city staff prior to submitting a formal application. Love this.
Oh, yeah, and then it's bullet
Yep.
purpose.
Essentially points out the stuff that we need to know ahead of time.
Rental traffic, parking, infrastructure, utility, and power.
And then it also helps put them in the right direction. Applicants may also receive preliminary guidance regarding consistency with adopted plans, site constraints, or anticipated concerns from reviewing departments. Pre-application meetings for minor administrative projects may be required at staff's discretion. I like that too. So like, for instance, if someone goes to Brian and says, hey, I want to put a bench here, but he feels that that bench might infringe on an easement. I don't know, just throwing real weird examples out there. Letter of intent, applicants shall submit a letter of intent prior to filing a formal application. Letter of intent is intended to function as an early screening tool to determine whether the proposal appears generally consistent with city goals and suitable for the proposed site. The letter of intent should include project summary and objectives, proposed site location, application. I'm going to put also proposed site location or locations in case someone has alternatives that they may be thinking of. Just a thought. Applicant and sponsorship information, preliminary timeline, estimated budget and funding sources, anticipated public benefit, potential city involvement or support requested, preliminary operational or maintenance expectations. For standard improvement and major legacy projects, City Council may review the LOI and provide preliminary direction prior to submittal of a full application. This is great. Application requirements. Application shall include sufficient detail for the city to evaluate technical feasibility, public impacts, operational considerations, and long-term maintenance obligations, depending on the project type and scale. And I just want you guys to know the reason I'm reading this out loud is for folks online to be able to hear, because we don't have a digital copy for anybody. And instead of wasting time trying to set up a Zoom, I figured just reading it, and then we'll get a copy of this out to the public as soon as possible. Anyway, depending on the project type and scale, application materials may include narrative project description, site plans and conceptual renderings, existing site photographs, construction or installation details, engineering or technical studies where applicable, project budget and funding sources, operations and maintenance plan and budget, ADA accessibility review, traffic and parking, irrigation, drainage, and utility impacts, public engagement summary, awesome, letters of support, insurance and liability information, decommissioning or restoration plan.
Oh,
That's awesome.
didn't even think of that.
That's great. Projects requesting city funding, grant sponsorship, or operational support shall clearly identify those requests in the application. Completeness review, applicants shall be reviewed for completeness within 10 business days of the following submittal. If materials are missing or insufficient, staff may return the application with a written request for additional information. Formal review timeline shall not begin until the application is deemed complete. The city staff may determine that the outside agency review, engineering analysis, legal review, or additional public outreach is required prior to scheduling a public hearing or council consideration. Review criteria. Applications shall be evaluated using consistent review criteria intended to balance community benefit with operational feasibility and protection of public resources. Review criteria may include consistency with adopted city plans and policies, public benefit and community value, compatibility with surrounding land use, preservation of public access, operational and maintenance impacts, financial impacts to the city, traffic, parking, circulation impacts, public safety and emergency access, environmental and infrastructure impacts, historic and scenic compatibility, interesting, sustainability and resiliency considerations, applicant capacity to complete and maintain the project. Projects may be approved with conditions, or denied or referred back to the applicant for modification. The approval of the project does not create a property right or permanent entitlement. Love that. Interdepartmental and advisory review. Applications may be routed to the city departments, advisory boards, or outside agencies depending on the location, scope of project. Potential reviewing entities may include the planning department, public works, building official, parks board, planning board, police department, fire department, sustainability board, city clerk, city attorney, Carbon County agencies, and other advisory boards as applicable. Reviewing entities may provide comments, recommend conditions of approval, identify operational concerns, or request additional information from the applicant. Public engagement in hearings. Public engagement requirements shall be scaled to the size and impact of the project. Minor administrative projects. Public notice may be provided at staff discretion. Standard improvement projects. Public notice shall include posting on the city website, inclusion on a city council agenda, opportunity for public comment. Major legacy projects. Public engagement shall include public notice, public comment period of at least 30 days, community meeting or open house, opportunity for advisory board review, public hearing before city council. At the direction of city council, applicants may be required to conduct additional public outreach at their own expense. Oh, boy, awesome. Staff reports and recommendation. For standard improvement in major legacy projects, the city staff shall prepare a written report summarizing review findings and recommendations. Staff reports may include project summary, site description, review findings, department comments, public comments received, financial and operational analysis, maintenance considerations, recommendation or recommended conditions of approval, recommended agreement type, staff recommendation. Staff recommendations may include approval with conditions, denial, or continuation for additional information. Agreements and financial security. Approved projects may require one or more formal agreements depending on the nature of the proposal and level of city involvement. City attorney shall determine the appropriate agreement type. Agreement types may include permit, license agreement, maintenance agreement, donation agreement, lease, development agreement, memorandum of understanding. Agreements may address maintenance obligations, insurance requirements, public access requirements, construction deadlines, operational limitations, restoration requirements, default and termination provisions, reporting obligations, financial security, or bonding. I'm really glad that that's included, just for the record, because, again, hate the idea of a project getting halfway done and then killed because lack of funding. City may require performance bonds, maintenance bonds, or other financial guarantees for the removal, restoration, or operational risk could create future costs to the city. Final development and compliance. Following approval, applicants may proceed with engineering, permitting, fundraising, construction, documentation, and implementation. Projects shall comply with approval conditions and applicable regulations. The city may inspect projects during and after construction to ensure compliance with approved plans and agreements. Approvals may expire if the work does not commence within a time frame established by the city unless extension is granted. Renewal amendments and termination. I'm just going to make a little note there. One note that I have for projects shall comply with all approved conditions. I think that we should put a deadline, and it might be by agreement, and we could probably get into that by reviewing some of our agreements as well. But I feel like instead of the city may inspect projects during and after construction, I think it should be inspected, and I think that we should have some sort of timeline established depending on the agreements, but it might just be per agreement, because Specifically, I think of like after a year, reviewing certain parks to make sure that they're still being maintained to the value that was agreed to. Anyway, sorry. Approvals may expire if work does not commence within the time frame established by the city unless an extension is granted. Renewal, amendments, and termination. At the conclusion of an agreement term, city staff may evaluate project performance and determine whether renewal, modification, or termination is appropriate. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Evaluation.
I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, well,
Keep reading.
exactly what I'm saying, my bad. Evaluation criteria may include compliance history, maintenance performance, public benefit, operational impacts, financial impacts, continued consistency with city goals. The city reserves the right to revoke approvals or terminate agreements for non-compliance, failure to maintain improvements, safety concerns, or other violations. Appeals. Administrative decisions under this policy may be appealed to the city council within 15 days of the decision. Reservation of rights. The city reserves the right to approve with conditions, deny, revoke, or modify any application, require additional information, require restoration of city property, deny proposals inconsistent with public interest, adopted plans, safety, or available city resources. Nothing in this policy obligates the city to accept ownership, maintenance responsibility, or operational responsibility for any proposed improvement. The review matrix, God,
Yeah.
love this.
So this is basically what we had, like.
Yep, this is basically what we had, and then also that application checklist. This is well done, sir. Appreciate
Like
that.
he does this for a living.
It's like he does it for a living.
Definitely some stuff we want to build on, like,
Correct.
like the appeals, should probably have a process for that,
Yep.
that kind of stuff.
No, agreed. I think there's a few things that could use bulking up a little bit. And I know specifically there were some pieces that aren't necessarily shown within this, just under, like the advisory review or under the review. There was one criteria in particular of like the year-round benefits. And just, I think having some of those examples that might just be more so included in the application, which we have not looked at yet. So let's take a look at that next. And then,
the punchline is that you guys do have the planner confirmed for June 8th at 4:30. He will be at your meeting, so whatever
Perfect.
comments, suggestions,
perfect.
whatever, come with having massively read it in your comments so that we can utilize this time.
Perfect. That is exactly, yeah. Yay. So much yay for this. Do we want a fee? I think depending on the size of the packet, maybe, or on the size of the project. So going into the application, starting with if we want a fee or not. This application project or packet is intended for organizations, nonprofit businesses, community groups, and individuals proposing projects on city-owned property. The different application types, including the review level, applicant information, perfect, project information, project title, location, describe the proposed project and public benefit, project classification request, minor, again, goes through that scale, project details, estimated project costs, funding sources, grant funding requested, will the city be funding or support be requested, estimated timeline, expected construction and installation dates, site and infrastructure impacts. Will this project include any of the following? Permanent structures, electrical service, water sewer connections, irrigation modifications, landscaping or tree removal, ground disturbance, traffic or parking impacts, amplified sound. I think we could probably add to this as well, just a side note. Describe anticipated impacts. Operations and maintenance. Who will maintain the project after completion? Describe ongoing maintenance and responsibilities and estimated annual costs. Proposed project lifespan, useful life. Handy. Public engagement. Describe any public outreach completed to date. List any neighborhood groups or stakeholders consulted. Attachments, completed application form, narrative project description, site plan, conceptual drawings, photos of existing conditions. Ooh, I love that. Budget and funding sources, maintenance and operation plan and budget, accessibility analysis, traffic and parking analysis, utility and infrastructure analysis, letters of support, public engagement summary, insurance and documentation, and restoration decommission plan, applicant certification. So I think not just having, I feel like we might just need another bullet point here. So we have 5 site and infrastructure impacts. I would like to see an additional one of community impacts. Just,
Okay.
and then again, I know we have sound and all of that, but like when we went back and talked about how is this going to affect people, one of the things in particular, is it going to increase usage for certain groups that might have a deficit? The wording on all of that was wrong, but I hope that the idea gets across to you guys. Underserved populations, that's the word that I was going for. So having that in there, as well as does it take away from any other user groups? So for instance, I think of the tennis courts where the tennis court gets into one of the holes on there, having that noted. And I think that's important, just recognizing that when you put something in, it might be taking away from somebody else, and then how do you weigh that out? So just a few things that we could probably add to community impacts that we have already drafted out in some of our notes. That might be a good item to have. And then in terms of the operation and maintenance, it sounds like we have pretty decent requests for application attachments. So like the maintenance and operations plan budget, I don't think we necessarily need to expand on this in the application. I think this is great.
Yeah.
Other feedback, comments, questions, concerns?
I think this is a great start.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah,
start making some
right, making those.
meaningful additions and changes without feeling overwhelmed with the massive.
Yeah.
Our notes?
Vague ideas of what we
Yep.
eventually want.
Conceptual ideas turned into bullet points is great.
Yeah.
Folks in the room?
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
This is great.
Much needed.
All the work you put into it earlier, too.
Oh, everyone.
I know this is not accepted yet, because you want to make changes
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
that, and so, in the resolution, then you can't do that until this is done.
Right. Yep.
How will this affect current projects in the pipeline?
That's a great question. I think a big part of it would be basically reviewing what we have already obtained from them and then seeing if there's anything in addition that we need from them. So I think that essentially retrofitting it into an application based off what we currently have, depending on where they're at their scale. So like if there's something that's already been greenlit and is like 2 days away from being done, like someone's putting in a bunch of rose bushes somewhere that I'm not aware of that Brian allowed, we're not going to make them do that. But for people that are in process of applications, like the ice skating rink, this will come into play.
And we've been trying to follow that even though
Yep.
this is still in Jello.
Mm-hmm.
Madam Chair, you do have a raised hand online also?
Mary? You can unmute yourself. I think that I don't have to do it. Okay,
No, she
cool.
can.
See your volume?
Yeah. Mary, can you hear us?
Yes, sorry, I had to get over. So one of my questions is there any sort of language about the economic qualifications of the applicant for long-term feasibility?
There's several locations where it talks about financial security. I don't know if we necessarily have the economic health of those individuals, but there is a financial security section. And I'm just kind of flipping through agreements and financial security. So city may require performance bonds, maintenance bonds, and other financial guarantees, where removal, restoration, or operational risks could create future costs for the city. And then there's several places where, again, the agreements may address those financial security bonding, so we could request certain information if needed.
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering because, you know, in anything else, whether you're getting a mortgage or whatever, you're basically vetted. And so just making sure that, you know, there's some qualification, because if a nonprofit or a group has historically raised 100,000 in a year, what's the long term that they're going to be able to take care of it for 20 years? You know, like, I think we
Right.
need to look at the health of the groups looking at it. That's my only comment. I think the rest is great.
Yeah, and again, I think that you are not wrong in that. There's also sections for like reporting obligations, and I think I'm just going to make a note for source funding, especially when you're talking with nonprofits. Again, it could be like, oh, well, we have this grant that we can get year after year for this, but those grants very frequently go away. So having some sort of financial planning and also just a proof of funds for that as well.
And contingencies.
Yep, and contingencies. Yep. Cool. Anybody else online?
That's all, Madam Chair. That's all the ones that I see raised hands for anyway.
Well, that's why I was asking them. So, see if anyone else wanted to speak, but I think that we got that. Okay. So we have that meeting, and we'll get this out to the public,
This will be in the packet
for next. Yep. Perfect. So we'll get this in the packet. If anyone online would like it sooner, feel free to reach out to me. I'm fine with sending things along. I will say the one that I received has like these weird spots where the text didn't come through. So I'm going to see if I can save it as a PDF or something. I'll try and get that to where that text is there. Otherwise, anyone can reach out to me and have a chance to review it ahead of time as well. But we will have that meeting with Jeremy at our next meeting, which will be fantastic. So we can kind of go through and bring anything that community has, that we have, and try and get those addressed and get this out there and active. Because I know that this has been pretty painful for a lot of groups to not have a clear line of sight in terms of getting things done.
Has the next meeting with Jeremy been
Scheduled?
scheduled?
Yes,
June 8th.
June 8th.
Oh, June 8th, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So very excited about that. All right, so then I had reserved for the next meeting. Do we have the rodeo MOU yet?
No.
Nope.
So let's do that at the next meeting.
And then meeting with the planner, we'll be with him next meeting. Great. Any other public comment?
It's minor and it's come up
Yeah.
in other committees too,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know if logistically it's possible.
Mhm.
It would have been great if you all could have had this in, like, an agenda.
And that's my fault, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
but it's not just yours, the
Oh.
committees,
Yeah.
they're talking about things, you all can see things that we can't see.
Agreed,
Yeah.
And
yes.
you can't, and even when you put it up here, we can't see it up there very well.
And-
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And a lot of times that stuff is stuff that's happening Friday, even as the packets are going out. So if we have it when the packet goes out, so this will be in the next packet so that everybody has it.
But I mean specifically for committees. You all don't do packets for committee meetings.
Yep,
That's because it's still happening up until 2 minutes before the meeting, and so
Yeah.
the packets go out on Friday.
and what he's saying is we don't necessarily have the items for a packet ahead of time.
Until, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it is literally day of the meeting that we're getting this.
I felt simply because you had to read this entire thing, so people,
Yeah, and honestly, that's on me because I forgot to send it to everybody.
But also, it kind of
But-
makes you, to ensure that we did go through it item by item.
Yeah.
Also, it helped us.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I really want to
for
make
sure.
sure that we're being really thorough on this one. But no, I agree with you on that, and honestly, it's something I've been racking in my brain of how to make that work. Like, in my mind, it's a Google Drive for each group, and so it's something that can be getting added to, and then when we have any working documents, they, kind of like how we had started with this, that every person that's in that steering committee can work on it, and it's all there, and it's not getting it's only one document versus, oh, I have this version on my computer, I sent you this emailed version on Thursday, oh, you didn't get the most recent one on Friday. Instead, it's just all in one location, and that's
Yeah.
where we find it until it's ready to go to game time, and then it's saved as a PDF and goes to the council. Like, that's kind of what process I would have in my brain, but that might be something for admin to consider come fall. I mean, that's the problem, is admin's so stacked.
No, I know. All of yours.
Yeah, all right. I don't know, we're doing pretty good
And
here.
The other thing that I will add, just what we can do is it's never gonna be like we work through it the weekend and action is taking. So it just means that's gonna get delayed. So it will get a chance to go out to somebody before we do action on it. But while it's still happening, you'll get the best that's available at the time, and then we'll print it out and make it available as we can, so.
Or
Yeah,
it might be worthwhile sending this to Parks Board as well, so
Ooh,
that's
yeah.
another avenue for, you know, public engagement, yeah, exactly.
and honestly, I think let's send it to all of our advisories, because sustainability board, you name it, anyone who's gonna be potentially wanting to do projects
Mhm.
or potentially being utilized as an advisory
Yeah.
board on here.
And I'd like to, yeah, get their comments through all their different lenses.
Yep, I'm all about that, yeah, as much feedback as we can get on this. It's not like we have one shot on it, but like, it's
No.
really nice that we have something that we can actually send for review at this point.
Them streamlined, yeah.
Great. Yeah, no, I'm gonna think on that more. And I'm not sure if it's just like beginning of the day of steering committee days, we print, I hate printing so much.
No, I agree,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't help people on either.
Exactly, and it's just like, and as you mentioned though, it's so hard to see it when you're there. Like, I almost wonder if there's like a way to have a link to a little online statements or like a packets folders that we can be adding to as we go. And then
Yeah,
like,
a Google Drive.
yeah, like a Google Drive, and I don't know, it's just logistics.
Is there technology so we could look at it on our phones? like
Exactly.
On that screen?
Yep, exactly, that's what I think we can do.
Because it's, you know.
It's
something you plan for.
infuriating. Yeah, oh, I know, and like, from someone who sat in those chairs a lot, it was infuriating. It's, yeah, it's a lot, so,
Next time it will be.
okay. Cool beans, I'm excited, y'all. I am going to adjourn this meeting.
Did you do a full scan for public comment?
I did, I think so, I went online. Is there anyone else online? One more time. I see a comment from Seth, this looks great. I would love to take credit for this, but I did not do this, this is all Jeremy. So, good work, good work. All right, meeting adjourned.